The Grand Council chamber of the Stellar Federation buzzed with noise. 12 different alien species sat at their curved desks. Administrator Tay, tall with pale blue skin, moved his long fingers over a floating screen made of light. "We will now look at Sol 3, or Earth as the locals might call it if there were any," said Ta. The main screen filled with pictures and numbers about Earth. Many aliens laughed or shook their heads. Science Officer Bin pointed at the screen. "This planet is crazy. It goes from very hot to very cold in one day. How could anything live there?" Geologist Jin, who had scales instead of skin, looked worried. "The ground never stays still. It shakes and splits. Mountains spit fire. Giant waves crash on the land. Nothing smart could ever grow there." Ambassador Quan had 4 eyes that blinked one after another. He laughed and said, "I bet only tiny bugs live there. Nothing bigger could survive." "The air would kill us," added Da, who knew about planet air. "Too much oxygen burns like fire." Ta nodded like someone very wise. "I think we should call it a D7 planet. That means has some life, but no one could live there. It's just a weird place we can study. Nothing important." Everyone agreed. No one said no. "We'll send Captain Hyun on the ship Horizon," said Ta. "Get a few samples, and then go look at better planets." The meeting moved on. They talked about other planets, trade deals, and space routes. No one thought twice about Earth. On the ship Horizon, Captain Hyun checked his orders. He was not happy. "A D7 planet. What a waste of my time," he told his crew. "We'll be done in a day." Researcher Sue looked at the planet through special cameras. "It is very blue and green for a D7. Most are brown or gray." "Blue is just water," said Hyun. "Water with too much salt. And the green is probably just moss or algae. Nothing special." The ship moved closer to Earth. It would reach orbit in 6 hours. In his private room, Hyun looked at pictures of Earth. Something bothered him. D7 planets usually look dead from space. This one looked alive. But the Council was never wrong. They had classified thousands of planets. They knew what they were doing. "Just get the samples and leave," Hyun told himself. "Don't waste time thinking." The ship's alarm suddenly beeped. Hyun ran to the bridge. "What's happening?" Officer Min looked confused. "Captain, something is coming toward us from Earth. Moving fast." "A rock? A piece of ice?" asked Hyun. "No, sir. It's metal. Made by someone. And it's sending signals." Hyun felt cold all over. "What kind of signals?" "Words, Captain. Someone is saying hello." The crew stared at each other. This changed everything. Hyun sat in his chair, thinking hard. "Check again. Maybe it's from another ship." "No, Captain. It's from Earth. And there are more signals now. Thousands. Coming from all over the planet." Hyun looked at the blue-green world below. The Council was wrong. Someone lives there. Someone smart enough to build things that fly in space. "What do we do, Captain?" asked Min. Hyun took a deep breath. "We need to tell the Council. And we need to answer back. Say hello." As the ship moved into Earth orbit, they saw more proof. Cities with lights, roads, farms, and flying machines coming up to meet them. "The Council won't believe this," said Sue. "A D7 planet with smart life." "Not just smart," said Hyun, watching the human ships move with perfect skill. "These beings live on a planet we thought was too hard for any life. What kind of people must they be to survive here? What kind of strength must they have?" For the first time in his life, Captain Hyun felt afraid. Not of Earth's dangers, but of the people who called those dangers home. Captain Hyun sat in his command chair as the Horizon slipped into orbit around Earth. His 6 fingers tapped the armrest. He had done this many times before. Fly to a planet, take some pictures, grab some dirt, and leave. Start the normal tests for a D7 planet. Hyun told his crew. "Let's find what tiny bugs live here and go home." The crew began their work without much interest. D7 planets were boring. Just places with bad weather where nothing important could live. Senior researcher Jun looked at her screen. Her eyes got very wide. "Captain," she said in a strange voice, "something is wrong." "What is it?" asked Hyun, still reading his report. "I'm seeing energy patterns on the planet. Not natural ones. These are made by someone." Hyun looked up quickly. "That can't be right. Your machine is broken." Jun shook her head. "I checked twice. It's working fine. And there's more. There are metal objects flying around the planet. Thousands of them." The room got very quiet. Everyone stopped working. "She's right, Captain," said Officer Min from his desk. "I'm picking up signals. Radio waves. Digital codes. It's a giant web of communication." Hyun stood up and walked to the big window. He looked down at Earth, the blue and green planet that was supposed to be empty of smart life. "You're telling me," he said slowly, "that people live down there, on that terrible planet that no one should be able to live on?" Jun nodded. "Yes, Captain. And from what I can tell, they grew there naturally. They weren't put there by someone else. They call themselves humans." "This changes everything," said Hyun. "Call the council now. Tell them we found something no one has ever seen before." The call to the council did not go well. Administrator Ta looked angry on the screen. "Captain, are you sure about this?" he asked. "The planet was checked by our best scientists. No one could live there." "I'm looking at their cities right now," said Hyun. "They have buildings, roads, flying machines. They're talking to each other across their whole world." "This is very serious," said Ta. "Stay where you are. Don't talk to them. We're sending more ships." But it was too late. A message came in from Earth. "Captain," said Min, "they're asking who we are. They saw our ship." "Don't answer," said Hyun. But he was curious. How could people live on a world with burning deserts, freezing mountains, and angry oceans? What kind of people were they? Min's machine beeped again. "Captain, they sent pictures. I think they want to be friends." Hyun looked at the pictures. They showed humans standing together, holding hands up in a greeting. They looked small and soft, not dangerous at all, but they lived on a planet that should kill them. "How do they do it?" Hyun asked no one. "How do they live there?" Another ship appeared next to them. It was from Earth. It was small and simple, but it had come up from a world with crushing gravity and wild storms. The people inside were waving. "Captain, they want to talk," said Min. "What should I tell them?" Hyun thought for a long time. The council said not to talk to them, but Hyun had to know. How did soft creatures survive on a deadly world? What did that mean for the rest of the galaxy? "Open a channel," said Hyun. "Let's meet these humans." The screen lit up. A human face appeared. It had 2 eyes, pink-brown skin, and showed its teeth in what seemed to be a friendly way. "Hello," said the human in perfect galactic standard language. "Welcome to Earth. We've been waiting a long time to meet our neighbors." Hyun couldn't speak. The human knew their language. How? Why? What else did these people know? "Hello," Hyun finally said. "We thought no one lived on your planet. We thought it was too hard." The human laughed. "Oh, Earth can be tough sometimes, but it's home. We love it here." Love it? Hyun couldn't understand. Who could love storms and earthquakes and wild animals? "We would like to learn more about you," said the human. "Would you like to visit? We promise it's safe." Hyun knew the council would be angry. But this was his chance to understand the greatest mystery he had ever found. "Yes," said Hyun. "We would like to visit." As he said it, Hyun realized the galaxy would never be the same again. The people no one thought could exist were real, and they were waiting to show what they could do. The big room where the council met was full of shouting. The 12 alien leaders who ran the Stellar Federation could not believe what they were hearing. "Silence," shouted Administrator Ta. hitting his table with a sound stick. "We must think clearly." On the big screen in front of them was Captain Yun. His report about Earth had shocked everyone. "You're saying these humans built all this by themselves?" asked Ta. "On a planet we thought was too harsh for smart life." "Yes, Administrator," said Hyun. "They didn't just survive. They built cities, machines, and even spaceships. They did it all while living with earthquakes, storms, and dangerous animals." The council talked for many hours. In the end, they sent more ships to Earth. Senior diplomat Han was put in charge of learning about humans. 3 weeks later, Han stood in front of the council again. He looked tired but excited. "Honored members of the council," Han began, "I have seen things I never thought possible." He showed pictures on the big screen. Humans living in places so hot that most aliens would die in minutes. Humans living where it was so cold that water turned hard as rock. Humans living under the ocean in bubble houses. "They can live almost anywhere," said Han. "They change the place or they change themselves. They wear special clothes. They build special houses. They even change their own bodies to fit the place." Biologist Suk stepped forward. She had spent 2 weeks studying human bodies. "Their bodies are amazing," she said. "They can heal from injuries that would kill us. They can eat things that would poison us." She showed a picture of a human eating something red. "They call this hot pepper," she said. "It has a chemical called capsaicin that burns tissue. It causes pain. And they eat it for fun." The council members looked sick. "For fun?" asked Ambassador Kwon. "They hurt themselves for fun." "Yes," said psychologist Wu, stepping forward. "Their minds are as strange as their bodies. They seek out hard things. They climb tall mountains where they can't breathe well. They go to empty places all alone. They jump off high places with only a piece of cloth to slow them down." Wu showed a video of humans jumping out of flying machines and falling through the air. "They call it skydiving," he said. "They do it to feel excited." The council room was quiet for a long time. "Are they dangerous?" asked Kwon finally. "Should we stay away from them?" Han thought carefully before answering. "They could be very dangerous," he said. "They are used to pain and hardship in ways we are not. They solve problems in creative ways. They work together very well when they need to. So we should avoid them," said Ta. "No," said Han, "because they are also kind and curious. They want to meet us. They want to learn about us. They have invited us to visit their world." "Visit Earth," gasped Kwon. "That death planet." "They promised to keep us safe," said Han, "and I believe them. They understand we are not as strong as they are." Ta stood up. He looked worried. "We need to understand these humans better," he said. "If they can live on a world like Earth, what else can they do? What will they become in the future? We need to know if they will be friends or enemies." "I will go," said Han. "I will visit Earth with a team." "Be careful," said Ta. "Remember that they may seem friendly, but they are creatures shaped by a world that we thought was too hard for any thinking being. They are survivors in ways we cannot understand." Han nodded. As he left to prepare for his trip to Earth, he wondered what it would be like to walk on a world that could kill him in 100 ways. And he wondered about the strange, tough creatures who called that terrible place home. The big silver ship landed carefully in a field outside a human city called Toronto. The door opened slowly. 5 aliens looked out at Earth for the first time. "Air check complete. Gravity check complete. Microbe protection active," said Tech Officer Su. "We can go outside now." Senior Diplomat Han took a deep breath inside his protective suit. He had trained for dangerous missions before, but never on a world like this. Earth was beautiful but scary. "Remember," Han told his team, "stay in your suits at all times. Don't touch anything. Don't take off your helmets even for a second." They walked down the ramp onto Earth soil. A group of humans waited for them. Most wore simple clothes with no protection at all. They breathed the dangerous oxygen air directly. Their skin was exposed to the sun's radiation, yet they looked comfortable. One human stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth. I'm Dr. Park. I'll be your guide during your visit." Han nodded politely. "Thank you for having us. We are very interested to learn about your world." Dr. Park smiled. "We have a lot to show you. Let's start with a tour of our city." The aliens followed Dr. Park to a vehicle. As they drove, Han noticed dark clouds forming in the sky. "Should we return to our ship?" he asked nervously. "Those clouds look dangerous." Dr. Park looked up. "Oh, that's just a spring shower coming. Nothing to worry about." "But the lightning," said biologist Sook, pointing at flashes in the distance. "Happens all the time," said Dr. Park. "Our buildings have protection systems. We'll be fine." The aliens looked at each other in disbelief. Lightning on their worlds was rare and very dangerous. Here, humans just ignored it. They stopped at a park where humans were enjoying the day. Suddenly, water began to fall from the sky. The aliens rushed under a shelter. "This is what you call mild weather?" asked Han, watching the rain hit the ground. "It's just a little rain," laughed Dr. Park. "Good for the plants." A small human child ran past them, jumping in puddles of water that contained millions of microorganisms. The child was laughing. "That young one will get sick," said Medical Officer Du in alarm. "Playing in puddles?" "No, that's normal for kids," said Dr. Park. "Their immune systems need to meet some germs to get stronger." The aliens could not understand this thinking. Later, they visited a nature preserve. Dr. Park showed them earth animals and plants. "This is a honeybee," said Dr. Park, pointing to a small flying insect. "They're very important for our farms. They help plants make fruit." Sook stepped back quickly. "That creature has a poison stinger." "Well, yes," said Dr. Park. "But bees only sting if they feel threatened. They're usually gentle." Han watched the bee land on a flower. On his world, any animal with poison was captured and removed from public areas. Here, humans let them fly around freely. As they continued the tour, loud alarms started to sound. The aliens froze in fear. "What's happening?" asked Han. "Is it an attack?" Dr. Park looked at a small device. "There's a flash flood warning. The river is rising too fast. A community nearby might be in danger." "We should return to the ship immediately," said Security Officer Guan. But Dr. Park was already moving toward a group of humans who were gathering quickly. They were loading equipment into trucks. "Where are they going?" asked Han. "To help," said Dr. Park simply. "The people who live near the river might need rescue." The aliens watched in amazement as humans ran toward the danger instead of away from it. They were organizing teams, bringing boats and ropes. "But they don't know the people who are in danger," said Han. "Why risk their lives for strangers?" Dr. Park looked surprised at the question. "Because they need help. That's what humans do. We help each other." Han watched as the rescue teams drove off. He had seen humans do many impressive things, but this was different. These people were willingly going into danger to save others they had never met. "I want to understand," Han said quietly. "Can we go watch?" Dr. Park nodded. "Stay in your suits and stay back from the water. It can be powerful." They followed in a safe vehicle. At the river, the water was brown and angry. It smashed against trees and carried pieces of houses. To Han, it looked like certain death. Yet humans were putting boats into this water. They were tying ropes around their bodies and wading in. "They could die doing this," said Han. "Yes," agreed Dr. Park. "But others will die if they don't try." As Han watched, the humans pulled a family from a house surrounded by water. Everyone cheered. The rescued people hugged their saviors, even though they had never met before. Han thought about his own world, where everything was controlled and safe, where people rarely faced danger. These humans lived with danger every day. They didn't just survive it, they faced it to help others. For the first time, Han felt something new about humans. Not fear, not curiosity, but respect. "I think I'm beginning to understand your people," Han told Dr. Park. "You are stronger than we thought. Not just in your bodies, but in your hearts." Dr. Park nodded. "Earth can be harsh, but it taught us to be kind too. Sometimes that's the greatest strength of all." The Grand Council gathered in a quiet room, listening to Diplomat Han's important report about Earth. He spoke with confidence, saying that Earth should not be considered a dangerous planet. The images on the screen showed human achievements: beautiful art, tall buildings, advanced medical treatments, and space exploration. Han explained that humans do not just survive on their planet, but they actually grow stronger because of the hard challenges they face. Their difficult environment has pushed them to be creative and work together in amazing ways. The other council members listened carefully, some feeling afraid and some feeling curious. Ambassador Quan suggested they should keep humans separate until they understood them better. But before he could finish his thought, the big doors opened. A group of humans walked in, led by Dr. Park. She looked calm and peaceful, introducing her team as representatives who wanted friendship and understanding. The alien leaders looked at each other, unsure but interested. Administrator Ta stood up slowly and made a surprising decision. He proposed that Earth should be renamed as a special planet, a cradle of resilience, and welcomed humans as new members of the galactic community. As the humans and aliens started talking, Diplomat Han smiled to himself. He knew something important was happening. The universe was about to become much more exciting and unexpected. Humans had proven they were not just survivors, but incredible beings who could adapt and grow in ways no one had imagined before. The room filled with a sense of wonder and possibility. Old fears were slowly melting away, replaced by curiosity and hope. A new chapter in galactic history was beginning, with humans taking their first steps into a much larger world than they had ever known.